McLaren team principal Andrea Stella isn't mincing words. In response to a recent race where specific strategies appeared to unfairly benefit certain drivers, Stella is making a bold move. He intends to make a strong appeal addressing the apparent inconsistency in stewarding decisions and how it affects race outcomes. Let's delve into Stella's plan for a call to action. Andrea Stella, the team principal of McLaren, has taken a strong stance against the defensive driving tactics employed by Kevin Magnussen during the Miami GP sprint. Through the 19-lap race, Stella spared no words in denouncing Magnussen's maneuvers, which he perceived as overly aggressive and detrimental to fair competition. Magnussen's actions, according to Stella, not only impeded the progress of other drivers, but also compromised the integrity of the race. By speaking out against such behaviour, Stella underscored the importance of upholding sportsmanship and ensuring a level playing field for all competitors. His outspoken condemnation highlights the need for greater accountability and stricter enforcement of regulations to maintain the integrity and fairness of Formula One racing. During the race, Lewis Hamilton encountered difficulties overtaking the Haas car on the straights due to Magnussen's manoeuvres. The battle between them escalated to the point where their cars made contact, and Magnussen deliberately braked too late, forcing Hamilton off the track with him at turn 11. As a result of his actions, Magnussen incurred multiple penalties, including 4 penalties for leaving the track, totaling 35 seconds worth of penalties, and 3 penalty points on his racing license. This brings Magnussen's total penalty points for 8, posing a significant concern early in the season, as any driver accumulating 12 points faces a ban from a Grand Prix. While Hamilton expressed his enjoyment of the on-track racing, Stella emphasized the fine line between assertive driving and exceeding the track limits, asserting that drivers must not be encouraged to emulate Magnussen's actions. Stella believes that Magnussen's defensive maneuvers were purposeful and aimed at disrupting another driver's race. This incident isn't an isolated occurrence confined to the Miami Grand Prix. Rather, it reflects a troubling pattern of behavior exhibited by Magnussen throughout the 2024 season. A striking parallel can be drawn to an earlier incident at the Saudi Arabian race, where Magnussen resorted to similar tactics in his duel with Yuki Tsunoda. On that occasion, he veered off track in a bid to gain an advantage over his opponent, a move that ultimately resulted in penalties being levied against him. These penalties not only impeded Magnussen's progress during the race, but also raised concerns about the ethics and sportsmanship of his actions on the track. Such recurrent instances underscores the urgency of addressing the issue and implementing measures to uphold the integrity and fairness of competitive racing in Formula One. Stella's perspective is clear. The behavior displayed by Magnussen represents a deliberate attempt to harm a competitor, which he views as unacceptable. Andrea Stella has taken a firm stance against the actions of Danish driver Kevin Magnussen, calling for a paradigm shift in how such behavior on the track is addressed and disciplined by the FIA. Expressing his frustration, Stella emphasized the need for fair competition and suggested that Magnussen's repeated transgressions should have resulted in escalating penalties. In a strongly worded sentence, Stella condemned Magnussen's actions as detrimental to the spirit of racing. He highlighted the reoccurrence of such behavior within the same race and throughout the season, questioning the rationale behind cumulative penalties. How can penalties be cumulative? They should be exponential, Stella asserted, advocating for a more severe approach to deter drivers from engaging in unsportsmanlike conduct on the track. Proposing a radical solution, Stella called for race bans for drivers who persistently disrupt their competitors' races. He argued against the conventional approach of applying fixed penalties, suggesting that a more nuanced response is needed to address the severity of deliberate and repeated actions. It's not 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals maybe you need to spend a weekend at home with your family, reflect on your sportsmanship, and then go back, Stella remarked, underscoring the importance of maintaining integrity and fairness in motorsport. Furthermore, Stella criticized the current penalty system, particularly the efficacy of penalty points on drivers' licenses. He contended that such measures merely constitute a slap on the wrist and fail to adequately address the gravity of the offences committed. According to Stella, a fundamental reassessment of the disciplinary framework is imperative to uphold the principles of sportsmanship and ensure the integrity of competitive racing. Stella expressed his frustration with the current penalty system, stating, "I guess the penalty points are still in place." However, he emphasized that intentionally damaging competitors' races contradicts the principles of sportsmanship. He called for immediate action, noting that penalties such as adding time at the end of a race are inconsequential for drivers who are already out of contention for points. Stella stressed the impact on the affected competitors, asserting, "But for the competitors you have damaged, you have put them out of their race." He condemned such behavior as completely unacceptable, especially when it is deliberate, repeated, and perpetuated. Stella's impassioned plea reflects a growing sentiment within the motorsport community for a more robust and effective mechanism for regulating on-track behavior. By calling for proportional penalties and advocating for race bans for repeat offenders, Stella aims to safeguard the integrity of the sport and promote a culture of respect and fair play among drivers. As discussions surrounding race stewarding and disciplinary measures continue, Stella's advocacy serves as a catalyst for meaningful change in the world of motorsport. Andrea Stella's proposal isn't a radical overhaul of Formula One's rulebook, but rather a call for enhanced clarity and consistency in implementing existing regulations. Rather than advocating for sweeping changes, Stella emphasizes the need for more detailed guidelines for race stewards and a review process to ensure uniformity in decision-making across various races and circuits. In echoing Stella's sentiments, it's evident that his concerns are shared by many within the Formula One community. Drivers and other team principals have also voiced frustrations regarding the current state of stewarding. This collective dissatisfaction underscores the necessity for an earnest dialogue within the sport to address these issues effectively. Stella's initiative comes at a crucial juncture. By advocating for clearer and more consistent rule enforcement, he aims to cultivate a fairer and more predictable racing environment. Such improvements stand to benefit not only McLaren, but every team and driver on the grid. Ultimately, the objective is to safeguard the integrity of Formula One and ensure that fans are treated to the highest caliber of high-speed competition. In implementing Stella's proposal, Formula One stands to gain in several key areas. First and foremost, enhanced clarity in the application of regulations can mitigate confusion and ambiguity during races, leading to more transparent outcomes. This in turn fosters trust and credibility in the sport's adjudicative processes. Moreover, consistent enforcement of rules promotes fairness and equity among competitors. When drivers and teams understand the parameters within which they must operate, they can focus on racing to the best of their abilities without concerns about arbitrary or inconsistent penalties. This levels the playing field and elevates the overall quality of competition. Additionally, a more uniform approach to stewarding enhances the spectator experience. Fans watching from around the world deserve to witness races where the outcome is determined by skill, strategy, and performance on the track, not by subjective or inconsistent officiating. By ensuring fairness and consistency, Formula One can deliver on its promise of providing thrilling and captivating racing action to its global audience. However, implementing Stella's proposal may pose certain challenges. Achieving consensus among stakeholders on the specifics of rule interpretation and enforcement could prove complex, given the diverse perspectives and interests involved. Additionally, implementing a review process to monitor and evaluate stewarding decisions may require significant logistical and administrative resources. Despite these potential obstacles, the benefits of adopting Stella's approach far outweigh the challenges. By prioritizing clarity, consistency, and fairness in rule enforcement, Formula One can reinforce its position as the pinnacle of motorsport and uphold its reputation as a bastion of sporting excellence. Andrea Stella's proposal for greater clarity and consistency in rule enforcement represents a proactive step towards improving Formula One's regulatory framework. By addressing concerns relating to stewarding, the sport can enhance fairness, transparency, and the overall quality of competition. Moving forward, it's imperative for stakeholders to engage in construction dialogue and collaboration to implement these changes effectively, ensuring that Formula One remains at the forefront of global motorsport for years to come. How can the sport ensure parity amongst its competitors while maintaining the thrilling spectacle fans crave? Each viewpoint contributes to the ongoing dialogue, shaping the future of Formula One. Share your thoughts below, igniting discussions that fuel progress. And remember to subscribe and like to stay engaged with the evolving narrative of motorsport's pinnacle. Together, let's propel Formula One into an era defined by integrity and excitement.